the heart of every soul breathes a passion, a vision sometimes silenced by the routine of everyday life. Yet there are those among us who refuse to tiptoe around unawakened dreams. They are the courageous ones who dare to challenge boundaries and unleash their untamed spirits. I'm Tracy Rosensteel, creator and host of the exciting television series In Pursuit of Passion, where we travel the globe in search of people who live their lives in pursuit of their dreams. Join me as we share in the passions of some of the most accomplished dreamers of our time. Those who have risked much, lost some, but gained boundless freedoms life is meant to offer by simply choosing to live life in pursuit of passion.
My passion for drumming started when I picked up the sticks and I got some encouragement from my uncle, who was my first teacher. There was just something about it. I loved banging on drums and I just wanted to get better at it. I just went from teacher to teacher, learning as much as I could. I'm still doing that, just seeing how good I can get.
It's another gift of life, and it's a great day to be alive.
When I'm not on the drum set, I'm constantly tapping, always on my legs tapping. I'm bruising my legs with drumsticks. I've been kicked out of class multiple times for tapping on the desk. I can't stop moving my fingers. I came to New York to meet some local musicians and maybe play with them a little bit and just learn as much as I can about the whole music industry here and just see what I can come out and learn. For me to be out here at 16 to learn about music is awesome. I'm JP and I've been drumming for about 8 years. I'm 16 years old and I live in Minnesota.
Here we go, from the beginning. It's boom, boom, cha, ba, boom, boom, cha.
A young drummer from Minneapolis, Minnesota, John Patrick has often dreamed of coming to New York and jump-starting his music career. Having spent his childhood studying techniques used by professional drummers from varying disciplines, John Patrick has only improved his own abilities with countless hours of practicing and imitating talents from some of the best drummers in the industry.
There have been so many drummers that have influenced me and inspired me. Steve Gadd, Vinnie Colaiuta, Tony Royster Jr., Dennis Chambers, Dave Weckl, Carter Buford. One of my particular favorites is Neil Peart of Rush. He's my all-time favorite rock drummer. And I got turned on to him by my dad, because when I was younger I was just playing to everything I could, and I got to a point where all the CDs in the house I could play to. I thought I was really good because I could play to everything I knew, but then my dad said, well, you gotta hear this guy play. So I remember after I heard Limelight off the Chronicles album, I said, there's just no way. I practiced at it though, and then once I was able to play that song, I was just on top of the world for a while. He's just unrelenting in his approach to perfection on the drum set, and that's been a real inspiration.
As with anything in life, practice, practice, practice makes perfect. And John Patrick is certainly no stranger to endless hours spent behind the drum set.
To be a successful drummer, to be a successful musician in general, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. You can measure success by, once you get to a point, you can play just about anything on your instrument, but you can also play as slow or as little as you want and still make that great.
In his ongoing efforts to sharpen his talents and further his music career as a young drummer, JP decided to travel to New York City to play with up-and-coming New York City professionals. Engaged in several days of drumming, observing, listening, bantering, and drumming again, JP quickly learned that a shared dedication, passion, discipline, and perseverance comprise the cornerstones of what it takes to push a music career to the top in New York City.
Performing, being on stage is one of those experiences that you can't even explain. You're in another place. You're performing and you're feeling energy from the audience, and your band especially, and it's probably the reason that keeps us doing it. We wouldn't sit through hours of practice and rehearsals if it weren't for that. To some extent, there's some sort of personal fulfillment in like knowing your craft and being able to play in your bedroom. If you're not like performing and experiencing that, I don't know that many people would keep doing it.
This is what I live to do. I can't imagine doing anything else. I wake up every day and it's the first thing I think about. I do have a day job. It pays my bills. But even when I'm at my day job, this is all I think about. Every day is about music. I love the fact that I can play with, 5 or 6 different singer-songwriters, and it's always different. So every day is a new experience, whether I'm rehearsing, recording, or gigging. It's a new experience, and it's really enjoyable, and it just makes life really interesting because I'm never sitting on my couch.
Rap is my life, music is my life. Not necessarily just rap, but any type of music, I enjoy all of it. From rock to blues to jazz, everything. I just appreciate music. To follow your dreams and your passion is something that you have to do consistently. You can't let them take your soul out of you, kind of. My mom always says that expression, like, you never let people take the wind out of what you're trying to do, no matter what. No matter what happens, you have to get what you wanted to get done. No dream is given. Want it more than everybody wants what they want. Dream is a big word because a dream is so powerful. It can completely take over your mind. It completely takes over your body. That's all you want to do when you really want to accomplish your dream. So following your dreams is very big, and you should follow them 100%. Not 91, not 95, 100%.
The other thing that keeps us going, besides the performing and the writing, is what you're doing means something to other people. It makes a difference in someone when you hear someone say, that song meant a lot, or those words meant something to me, or you feel like you're making a connection to connect with your audience. And that's a huge thing whenever you can actually accomplish that. Whenever you get kind of a taste of that, you want to keep doing that. You want to keep doing it. Thank you. Thank you.
John Patrick and Ricardo practice tirelessly with local singer-songwriter Will Duvall to prepare for a Saturday night New York audience.
My head is spinning around, got me looking in all directions.
Ride all the way through until the end. Whenever it goes to keep moving on. Give me the hat. Let's try that. The whole thing. Here we go from the beginning.
Some of the challenges that I'm faced with as a young drummer, just learning to play the drums is always tough. My current drum teacher has given me all kinds of things that are kind of out of the box to work on just to improve my drumming outside of just simple rock stuff. So he's got me into jazz and funk and fusion and Afro-Cuban patterns and all kinds of crazy stuff. That's always challenging, but that's a fun challenge to improve and learn new things, especially when they're not everyday things. Lots of the challenges I'm faced with now outside of learning to improve is finding places to play and people to play with at my age. Also, I can't play drums as a full-time thing right now from school and everything else, so that stuff kind of gets in the way, but it's important. Someday I'll be able to do this for a full-time gig, which would be a dream come true.
Well, first, I think it's great that he came here all the way from Minnesota. 16-year-old guy from Minnesota coming here to play with musicians like us that are in the scene already. I personally wish I had that when I was 16, because he can get right in there and see what it takes to make it work. And through us, he can see that, and we can just tell him, like, you know, this is what you do, stick with it, and you're gonna get somewhere. You know, as long as you're persistent and you keep doing it, you're gonna get somewhere. Keep at it, don't give up, and believe in yourself. I think that's the biggest thing, because there's lots of musicians out there, and it's easy to say, oh, that guy's better than me, you know. But you gotta believe in yourself and say, yeah, he might be better, but I might have something that he doesn't have, so you just gotta keep doing it and ignore the other guys.
There it's big. There, I mean, give me like the ride crash, you know what I'm saying? So it's big there. So go ahead. 1, 2.
Everybody wants to get discovered 6 days after they start doing music. You have to have patience, you have to be consistent, because there's gonna be times that you're just completely gonna doubt yourself. But when passion comes in, you just say, this is what I wanna do and this is what I'm gonna do. And you just go through it, you learn a little more. You have to give some people stuff that's appealing.
Sequestered in a sound studio in Midtown Manhattan, John Patrick and Ricardo practice tirelessly with local singer-songwriter Will Duvall to prepare for a Saturday night New York audience. Having also grown up in the Midwest and relocated to New York City to pursue a music career, Will Duvall has successfully landed himself in the midst of the New York City scene and has proven to be the perfect mentor for JP. Keeping it real is something on which Will has prided himself regarding his musical talent, and he reflects this mantra in his music.
The whole idea of performing and songwriting just really gets me going. I don't know. I try and find ideas for my songs in any kind of experience that I have, whether it's through relationships, whether it's through just life, people, anything. And I try and find a way to express that and make it relatable to other people. And being able to perform on stage is, for me, is just, it's another world, it's another experience. And getting the response of the audience and people liking your music, you know, something that you've worked and crafted, and it's like a good response to that. Yeah, if you're gonna write songs, you need to go through at least a few heartbreaks to make them worth anything. But I guess it's why we performers do it. But.
Don't worry, son, just give it time. You find out soon enough you're mine. They say there's pearls in every good woman. 20 years, I can't get this ring to shine. I just keep trying to find the meaning in these words that you are speaking to me. And as it turns out, the only thing you're feeling is your head, 'cause you've had too much to drink.
There's something to be said about that attitude in general, not giving up and getting up again and again and trying for something that you believe in.
Been here and now, don't know when it's over. This time it's over for real.
The inspiration behind What It Takes is basically the idea of love and how hard relationships can be, but really the idea that it's worth it. Not always easy, but it's always worth it.
Do you have what it takes to be in love? Yeah, in your heart when it breaks, can you pick it up?
There's something to be said about that attitude in general, not giving up and getting up again and again and trying for something that you believe in.
And it's just that perspective of not giving up that John Patrick and most musicians live and breathe on a daily basis.
Failure is, to me, giving up, quitting, not putting forth the effort that is required when it gets hard, when it gets tough. When you just get frustrated with yourself and instead of taking a break and going at it again and trying to get it, you just walk away from it. Whether it's music or whatever you do in life, I think that's failure.
So you're gonna tell me how to play?
I'm going to show you the simplest drum beat that there is, and it's the first one that I learned.
Okay.
It's just every other. Almost. You just about had it.
Don't laugh at me.
When the going gets tough, you just gotta stay motivated, whether other things in your life are getting in the way or you're slaving over a concept and you can't quite grasp it, you just gotta keep going at it, take a break if you have to, go back to it.
That was it though.
Just never give up. You gotta stay motivated.
Too early.
You did it. You did it.
The motivation for me, I guess, is I drum all the time, so I might as well get good at drumming because I don't have time to be good at anything else if I'm drumming all the time. So I just want to be good at it, and that's what motivates me. That's enough motivation for me.
There have been times where I've put it down for a little while. Yeah, I've had some setbacks, but those setbacks, I look back at them and I used to get down on myself like, oh man, I wish I didn't take those 2 years off. But it was those 2 years that made me stronger, and I came back with a vengeance. You need those things to help you reevaluate your life and to get you to come back kicking and screaming even harder than before.
I can't vision a day when I'll give up drums.
In your songwriting, find inspiration in the things that you're most passionate about, because if it doesn't mean anything to you, it's not going to mean anything to anyone else.
Kitty cocktail, straight up.
thing that's hard about the scene here is there is so many great bands, so many great musicians that are out playing. Coming here with pretty much your guitar on your back and not knowing anybody is a bit of a daunting task, trying to get people to come and listen to you, get your name out. You can have a great product and you book a show and nobody comes because you don't know anybody. The club is thinking from a business perspective just as much as you're thinking about it from, hey, I like playing. And they're like, well, if I'm not gonna make any money off this person, why would I want to keep having them back?
Till you break and it's
Finding good players, really rehearse, get your songs like perfect. Because I mean, it's New York. You never know who's gonna be in there, who's gonna be watching, who comes in for a drink and is like, hey, I really like this band.
until there's nothing at all.
After several days playing in the Big Apple and learning more and more about big city possibilities, John Patrick convinced himself that drumming is his future. Music is his lifeline, and rhythm is in his blood.
Any advice to an aspiring musician would be to perfect your craft. Really take the time and learn your instrument, whether it's your voice, whether it's your guitar. Take the time, study it, get to know it. Good things will come from that, you know, as far as just being a musician. In your songwriting, find inspiration in whatever it is you're doing, and certainly in the things that you're most passionate about, the things that affect you the most, because if it doesn't mean anything to you, it's not going to mean anything to anyone else.
I can't possibly vision a day when I'll give up drums. Whether I'm a session drummer or I'm touring with a band or several bands, or I'm just playing small gigs in small clubs around the city. Drumming is just about everything for me. I'll be drumming till the day I die.
Another great day to be alive.